Back into Toni Talks TV, the show that speaks to entrepreneurs.
I'm Toni.
And I'm Allison.
And if you're just now logging in or signing on or turning the channel on, what we did touch base on already is who we are and what we're doing. We're behind ONE Hospitality Group, and we are working diligently at bringing in a lot of experiences to York City specifically and surrounding county. We're working towards that. But I think it's important that we introduce who we are. Who are the people on TV, and who are the people behind the concept, and what makes us so damn qualified? So I'll start since I'm already yapping.
Go for it.
So I'm Toni Calderon. Grew up in Orlando, Florida, but originally from York, Pennsylvania. My grandfather was the originator of pizza in this town. You're welcome. You might know Alberto's. It's my family, and I'm third generation. However, I left family business in order to go learn how corporate America did it. First job, as soon as I found out they could hire at 15 years old, I was at McDonald's. Had to be independent. Had to do my own thing.
And they make good French fries.
I mean, they do. But you can't work the fry machine until you're 18, and I was only 15, so aspirations, I did, however, work really hard to get to the back window. It was like a goal that I had, and I always set myself up for these goals, and as soon as I accomplished one, I had to get a bigger and better goal, and it was just in me. And from McDonald's, I went on to Buona Fortuna. That's my in-laws' family, my family's restaurant in Hanover. I went to Buca di Beppo. So Buca di Beppo was an Italian restaurant that my family went to all the time. They wouldn't hire under 18. However, tenacious Toni. I wrote an email to the corporate offices for weeks at a time, diligently, until I got a hold of the person who did the hiring and got them to change their rules and hire a 16-year-old. True story.
You don't take no for an answer.
I don't. It's a trend, as you'll see. So through the course of my career, I always did things that people said I couldn't do. It was just like a thing, like a fetish I had, I guess. Football. I did football in high school. They said I couldn't. So we'll dive into that more of, you don't necessarily need the proper schooling or education in order to be who you are and where you're going. I think it's important to pay attention at who you've been your entire life and where you're going and how that fits in. So entrepreneurship is something that is in my blood and also in my family, so I'm like double dose. It's fun for the people who work with me. It's like bringing in Toni because, no is like my motivator. But more so than that, I came into York. I started, seeing a need, developing a want, and my husband at the time, Toni, and I started Two Toni's Restaurant, and from there, we just kept creating these concepts with the people that we now have under our umbrella. We're all creating together. So it takes a visionary, but it takes a whole team to execute. And I look forward to really sharing those stories with you guys as we get farther and further into this show. So that's me.
That's you. And a little bit about me. I also am from York, but I was born and raised here all the way up. I didn't get a nice little jaunt to Florida like some of us.
We go as often as we can, though.
Right. So I grew up on a farm, actually. I was responsible for feeding the cows in the winter and all that stuff.
So cool.
Yeah. And then eventually I went away to school in New York City, to NYU. I studied film and photography, religious and cultural studies. So in that way, I did have more of the formal education, though not quite for marketing. I kind of worked my way into that. Mm-hmm. And then came back and started a photography company with my then eventual husband. And it was called the Susquehanna Photographic. And part of how we sort of made our name was really getting involved in the community. So we shot a lot of community events, at first for free, and then eventually, made a name for ourselves. And we operated that business for 8 years. We shot about, I think, 300 weddings.
It's crazy.
Over the course of those years, and it really, solidified us in the community. And then,
big time. That's how I met you.
That's how we met. Yeah. And then, started to help with different community projects. I helped develop the I Love York City brand, Food Truck, which was a giant food truck festival that is still happening today.
You're kind of gangster.
Something like that. I don't know. It wouldn't be the first word to describe you.
You're kind of the Oz behind the curtain. That's what
I'll take that. Yeah, so then I started doing marketing for Two Toni's, and then eventually Toni and I got together as partners on the restaurant incubator and now the Cantina and Aviano's.
Yep, and we'll keep going if you let us. Just saying.
Yeah, so a little bit about what to expect in this show, kind of bringing it all back around. We've learned over the years, being entrepreneurs, that you kind of end up wearing many different hats.
Yes.
You're not always just like the owner. Some days you're the janitor.
Oh my God, you're everything. You're the accountant. You're the HR department. You're a psychologist. You got to talk to your people business first and foremost. Any business, any entrepreneurship, you're in the people business first, and then you have a trait. Our trait is food. But you have to put together all of the different moving parts in order to make a show happen. I like to refer to what we do as the show. So we set the stage, we get the props in, we learn our parts, and then the curtain goes up and you are on. But every part of that requires something in order to, achieve what you're trying to pull off every night. So what we're going to do with this show is we're going to have guests on. We're going to delve into different aspects of entrepreneurship. So you might be wondering, what does accounting look like for entrepreneurship? What we learned, which was very expensive by experience, we're going to bring to the table, and we're going to tell you about what we've experienced, and maybe you can learn a different aspect of how you would do something. And then to back that up, because we're not experts, we're going to bring experts on in their field. So it's a little bit of an educational show. It's a little bit of dishing. Oh, I got all the puns today. I'm lost today, boy.
Yeah.
A little bit of dishing about what it is that we do. And just real talk. Really talking to you about the hard times and the great times and everything in between of what it means to be an entrepreneur. Stop.
Yeah, and I think, we're going to give it to you in the form of restaurants and hospitality, because that's what we know.
Yeah.
A lot of these themes carry through to any small business and any startup, so I think it'll be valuable to many of you watching.
Yeah, hopefully. Or you'll at least be entertained by us, because you never know what's going to come out of, at least my mouth. I can't speak for her. We look forward to going on this adventure with you guys. We are the ladies of Two Top. My name's Toni Calderone.
And I'm Allison Witherow, and now we're going to launch into a little segment that we're going to do each week called Toni Talks, kind of like TED Talks. And that's where Toni gives her kind of daily boost of motivation. She loves those motivational videos. I kind of can't stand them. But for those of you that it speaks to, I think this will really help.
I love it. Thanks.